Okay, we're going to review Math 14, and what we were talking about here was the number line, positive and negative numbers and so on. And there's a whole bunch of lists of kinds of numbers. Things that we've seen before, we've heard counting numbers. That's where I would just start saying 1, 2, 3, and so on, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have whole numbers. And that's basically the same thing. You just start with 0. And you don't include any number in between those. So not 1.5, that wouldn't be whole, these are all whole. Now we talk about integers. And we can talk about integers, because we're going to talk about positive and negative numbers on a number line. Okay, positive going that way, negative here, but they're all integers. Okay? If I am going to set this up with a number line, I got my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, positive 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5, so negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, negative 10, and so on. All of these being integers. And when we talk about another set called opposite numbers, that means whatever number has is the same distance from 0 as the number stated. So what's the opposite number of 6? Well, if here's 6, what other number is the same distance from 0? Well, it'll be negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So negative 6 is the opposite of 6. If you ask what's the opposite of negative 6, it'd be 6. Pretty self-explanatory there. When it comes to positive and negative numbers and which ones are larger, if we were to do the greater than, less than, equal to, let's pause a minute here. Whenever we talk about these, to keep from getting messed up, we're always talking about this side over here. Greater than means the alligator's eating this way, that's greater than. Less than, the small side is over here, that's less than. It also looks like an L that's been compressed. It's a good way to remember it. And then equal to. So we're talking about the alligator, if it's facing this way, it's greater. If it's going away, well, that's lesser, and then equal to. So when we're talking about, let's say, I think in the book they use this example. Well, which one's greater? This is a greater number, but really is it? Which one is further this way from 0, or this way down the number line? Because greater is that direction, lesser is that direction. Well, negative 3 would be here, negative 4 would be here. Negative 3 is further down the line that way towards greater, so that's greater than negative 4. And we would all rather be negative or 3 in debt than 4 in debt if we're going to go the negative route. The other visual I like to bring up is when I talked about the Mediterranean Sea, the mountains up to Jerusalem, and then down to the Dead Sea, the lowest place on earth that's still dry. So if we look at the topography here, and then so on, we have the Mediterranean coming in like that. You go up the hills, you got Jerusalem up here, the big J. Here's a bunch of walls in town. And then you got the Dead Sea down here. If this is at 0 sea level, and we'll just say, just to make it easy, this is 1,000 feet below sea level. This edge of the shore is the lowest place that's still dry on the planet. If I were to, well, I have room here. I were to put Mount Baker next to it, and Mount Baker's about 11,000 feet, and you were to jump off of Mount Baker, yay, all the way down, you jump the 11,000 feet to get to 0, and then another 1,000 feet to get to the Dead Sea. So how much would you have dropped? Well, the 11,000 plus another 1,000 means that you dropped 12,000 feet. Okay? If we're using thermometers and we start going below 0, we start finding a difference there. If it was 100 degrees in the summertime here, and then it drops to -10, how much did it drop? Well, it dropped the full 100 to 0, plus another 10, it dropped 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? That's the basics of the review for 14. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions on that. Texting me is good, or emailing.